So Manassas Gap Shelter might be one of the older shelters still standing on the AT. I think it was built back in the 30s out of those old chestnut logs. And it's a really nice place to have spent the night. I'll be here for another 24 hours, but turns out Manassas Gap also has one of the newest privies on the AT. And I'll have to say that the PATC, I think, is who takes care of this shelter, and they have outdone themselves. This is a really nice privy for an AT privy. It's kind of double wide, I assume, so that they can shift the toilet from one side to the other at the seasons. It's brand new. I mean, the lumber is still yellow. It had to have been built last fall or this spring even. Somebody has already bothered to graffiti it, which I guess is a shame, but it's a privy after all. So, but yeah, it's big. It's easy to get to. It doesn't go all the way up, but it goes up high enough. It has a ramp, so my trekking pole didn't get stuck between anything, and it's a pretty short walk, uphill slightly. You go past this old privy, the toolbox for the old privy is still over here, so my guess is they're going to want to relocate that at some point, and the old privy is boarded up, so they don't have two privies for you to use, which is probably a good thing, because I don't know that I'd want to use that privy. This is a short walk in the morning. It's going to rain heavier and heavier all day long today, so I'm taking a 0 at the Manassas Gap Shelter, which I might have said in a previous video. I really enjoyed this shelter last night. I was hunkered down in the corner, safe from the wind and all of that. It's not a very big shelter, sleeps 6 or 8, I assume. Some of it needs some work, not the shelter itself. These chestnut logs will probably still be here when I'm gone, I suspect. But the fire pit benches are a little threadbare and kind of a cute, like 50s style almost. But they've seen better days. But, it's nice. It's got a platform, so you have plenty of room to sit in out of the rain today. And this is home for the night. I've already collected some water and already filtered some water. And I've taken up this corner because this is the north end of the shelter. Keeps me out of the wind, which is right now blowing right in my face. And I'll probably shoot a little bit more from my 0 day at the Manassas Gap Shelter later on today, but that's how my morning looks. It's kind of overcast and drizzly, but it's not too bad. It's probably in the 40s, so it's not too cold. And I'm gonna rest up and play with some videos and read some things and have a 0 day in the middle of the woods, probably all by myself. There were some Boy Scouts here last night up at the camp spots at the Blue Blaze coming into the shelter. But they're heading out this morning, and another gentleman came by who was scouting places to come turkey hunting in April when turkey season starts off. So for all folks coming through in April, it'll be turkey season then, so you might check on hunting regulations and wearing orange and all of that. But for now, this is Data signing off, saying good morning. Hope y'all are having a nice day. Today is going to be a day of firsts. Like my first 0 in a shelter. I thought I would also film some other firsts that are bound to happen today, and one of which is, this is my first dehydrated meal breakfast that I've ever made. I've gotten in a habit where I just have a cup of coffee in the morning and take care of all my morning chores and pack up and head out. And today, because it's a 0 day, I brought an extra meal along as a breakfast meal. I'm having some scrambled eggs. And I sliced up a beef jerky stick to add a little bit more flavor and a little bit more protein energy to it. I've already had my cup of coffee, and I'll be signing the logbook over here in a minute. And then I'm going to sit here and edit some videos and things like that. This rain is just starting in. It's Sunday, March 14th or 15th or something like that. And there's a big storm rolling in mainly south of me, but some of it is going to hit us here later on today, so I'll try to capture some of that also. But just another mini first in the hiking life of data on the trail. Hey there, Rambino and hiking community. This is Data coming to you from the Manassas Gap Shelter just north of Front Royal. I just finished up Shenandoah National Park in the first week and a half of March. Park's in pretty good shape. A lot of blowdowns from that storm that came through the first week in March, but by the time I got to the northern part of the park, they had cleared a lot of that. Possum's Run coming down into Front Royal is kind of a mess. There's a couple of big blowdowns on it that are a little bit sketchy, but I've reported those, so I think somebody's going to have gotten to those hopefully by the time this video airs. And other than that, you know, it's been a pretty good week for hiking, and I just wanted to say shout out to everybody else on trail. Especially I ran into Mountain Lake Life and Company SOBO, and had a good conversation and stayed at a couple of nice hostels along the way. And I hope everybody else's hike is getting off to as good a start as mine has so far this year. So this is Data out. I'm actually zeroing today at the Manassas Gap Shelter because there's a storm coming in this Sunday. So I'll be here throughout the day doing various kinds of cat chores and trying to heal up a little bit. Anyway, have a good day and happy trails. So it's about lunchtime here at the Manassas Gap Shelter, and it stormed pretty fiercely in the morning for a couple hours till about 11 or so. And then it started to let up, and now the skies are kind of clear, and yet that phase 2 of the storm is kind of rolling in, as you can see over here to the west. That's really the part of it that was supposed to be more serious. But I probably could have snuck in a couple-mile hike today, but I didn't. And it's been good. I've been relaxing and stretching and doing some videos. It's been a nice day off after a week of hiking. But I also got to notice things like you're hiking early in the spring, you get to see just the very beginnings of buds on things. So there hasn't been a lot of this, but each day things come into a little bit more bloom, and you can see some grass starting to turn green on the paths. There are some flowers, bulb kind of things, sprouting up in a couple of places. So the forest is coming to life here, right as I hike through it. It's a nice privilege to see. So now I'm going to fix a little bit of lunch and do a little bit more video work. And that's the midday update from a very quiet, slow day here at the Manassas Gap Hut Shelter on the 18th. So it's Sunday, March 16th, and I'm taking this zero at the Manassas Gap Shelter because it was supposed to storm like crazy today. And at the beginning of the day, it did. But now, by 2 or 3 o'clock, it's about what it is now, it hasn't stormed much at all, except every time I think, oh golly, maybe I should have gone ahead and hiked today, then the wind blows up so bad that I can hear a blowdown happen within, you know, a few hundred or a few thousand feet of where I am at. So you hear big trees crashing down. So I'm reminded of the conversation that I had back in the Shenandoahs with the 2 trail maintainers who said that a lot of times it's not so much the wind damage to the threat to the hiker that's the issue. It's that when it's early in the spring, the ground is actually kind of dry, get a little bit of rain like we got this morning, then you get high winds, and any tree that is not real stable, like some of these, can come down really quickly. So I heard one of them snap off about an hour ago that wasn't a branch coming off a tree, and it was fairly nearby. I thought I'd take a minute while it was still a little bit clear, because clearly there's another front blowing in this evening, because there's a bunch of warnings all up and down the southern part of the Appalachians to show the spring at Manassas Gap. It's really nice. It has like a log to sit on while you're collecting water and stones to put your feet on. So the water is flowing aplenty, and it's actually really nicely set up. And it's actually aesthetically kind of a interesting place to collect water. So now, not only, as you can see, did it not pour down rain today, like it said it was going to do, although it's still forecast to do that this evening, but we'll see. The winds have died down, the sky is blue, and the temperature is a very nice, like 55 or so. So clearly, I could have hiked today just fine. Now, I'm okay that I ended up zeroing because I kind of needed the rest a little bit, and it gave me a chance to come up with a plan for everything else. But negotiating the weather on the Appalachian Trail while you're hiking is clearly something that I still have a lot of work to do on, so that I don't get caught out in big storms or wind like I have before, but also so that I don't waste days sitting around the shelter thinking it's going to storm all day when it doesn't storm at all. So yes, you might hear a little bit of hiker frustration in my voice there, but it is what it is, and tomorrow I will hike out of here back to the original plan, and I have a pretty good plan for the next week now. So within a week I'll be in Harper's Ferry. So, and I am rested up and relaxed and stretched out, and I'm ready to go hiking kind of mood right now, and it's only 3 o'clock, and I'm not going to hike until tomorrow. So, oh well, I'll settle in and have a dinner and make some more videos, I guess. So this is what you see as you walk northbound up to the Manassas Gap Shelter side trail, and there's a nice little set of camping spots here that I didn't film last night because they were full of Boy Scouts who were planning for some upcoming hiking trip they have. And so today turned out to be really very nice, even though I didn't hike, but the morning was pretty awful and rainy, and so I'm fine that I took a zero. I got to relax and stretch and make some plans. It also allowed me to enjoy the weather a little bit, and it is still supposed to storm this evening, although, you know, it'll color me skeptical if I don't know we're going to get any rain at all, because you can see as I'm walking the path down toward the shelter that the sun has even come out. The grass is greening up. So it's really kind of a beautiful day on the Appalachian Trail. And as you walk up toward the shelter, you can kind of see it standing out with the brown and white coloring on the side of it, the bear pole right in front, which is nice and convenient, and the spring is off to the right that I showed you earlier. So as a sort of a visual aesthetic approach route to a shelter, you know, when you say hiking the Appalachian Trail, this is kind of what many of us envision, I think, that you walk just a 50 or 60 or 100 feet off trail, and here in the sunshine in the afternoon is this pretty little old-fashioned shelter. So I think with this I'm probably going to sign off for the day and try to make sure I can make an early start out of here tomorrow. So from the 0 day at the Manassas Gap Shelter, this is Data on trail saying I wish happy trails for each of you.